Bonjour à toutes et à tous.
Hello everyone. We are about to start this eve of match briefing with France ahead of the match against New Zealand. We are at the top table, Cameron Walkie, Raphaël Ibanez and Mathieu Jalibert. Please raise your hand to ask your question and introduce yourself with your organization and your name. First question here, please.
Bonjour messieurs, Paul Lacédène Mineur de Midi Libre. Question pour Raphaël. À quel point ton expérience de 2007 t'a servi et a servi l'équipe pour préparer ce match d'ouverture?
Je ne suis pas certain qu'on puisse mesurer l'incidence des matchs passés. Ce sont des sujets qui ont été brièvement étudiés avec l'ensemble du groupe. La conclusion, c'est qu'il n'y a pas beaucoup de leçons à retenir du passé, puisqu'en fait, l'histoire aujourd'hui, elle est à écrire pour cette génération, pour ce groupe-là. Le match de 2007, peut-être si vous voulez parler du match d'ouverture, voilà, c'est un épisode. Et ensuite, je me souviens, ça reste paradoxalement un bon moment, puisqu'il y avait aussi une victoire face aux All Blacks durant cette compétition. Voilà, chaque compétition a son histoire. On pourrait parler des rencontres de la première, la finale de 87 à Auckland. On pourrait parler de la finale encore en 2011 à Auckland. On pourrait parler d'autres matchs comme ça qui ont jalonné l'histoire de notre sport. Mais en fait, tout ce que nous avons mis sur la table n'aura pas forcément d'incidence sur le match de demain. Ce qui compte, en fait, c'est que nous engageons pleinement dans cette compétition. Je crois, sans trahir de secret, ce que nous voulons, c'est vraiment basculer définitivement dans cette compétition.
On va juste à présent demander à nos amis photographes d'arrêter de prendre des photos, s'il vous plaît. We're going to ask photographers to stop their photograph, please. And yes, question.
Bonjour, Camille Macali, la chaîne L'équipe. Une question pour Mathieu et Cameron. Hier, le sélectionneur néo-zélandais Ian Foster disait on a envie de réduire le public français au silence. Ils sont prêts pour la bagarre, cette ambiance bouillante. Est-ce que vous aussi vous êtes prêts et est-ce que ça vous donne un surplus de motivation?
Bonjour. Oui, bien sûr qu'on est prêt. On s'est préparé pendant quasiment 2 mois pour ce match, pour cet événement. Donc voilà, on se doute aussi que les All Blacks répondront présents demain. Voilà, ça va être un bel événement, une belle affiche. Mais la vérité, elle sera sur le terrain. Donc voilà, on a en tout cas hâte d'y être, très excité parce que on sent l'engouement autour de nous et on sait que demain, ça va être un grand moment pour nous tous.
Je vais rebondir sur ce qu'a dit Mathieu. Ça va être un événement extraordinaire pour nous tous, pour joueurs, pour le staff et aussi pour nos supporters. Je sais qu'ils vont faire énormément de bruit et qu'ils vont nous amener à nous surpasser sur le terrain. Donc non, il faut juste profiter de chaque instant, profiter de notre préparation pour bien se préparer à demain. Et je pense que le plus important, c'est notre performance de demain collectif et pas forcément se concentrer sur ce qu'il y a autour.
Bonjour messieurs, Winnie Claret à RMC Sport. Une question qui peut valoir pour vous trois, mais peut-être d'abord pour les joueurs. On est entré cette fois dans un Stade de France aux couleurs de la Coupe du Monde 2023. On a vu toutes les inscriptions sur la pelouse en tribune. Vous sentez, vous, que l'effervescence monte, ça y est, J-1, et peut-être aussi autour de vous, que ce soit à Rueil ou dans vos déplacements. Est-ce que vous la sentez? Nous, je ne sais pas, on ne voit pas encore, on est encore à huis clos. Mais et vous, qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
On voit que ça prend pas mal d'ampleur, on voit qu'il y a un engouement autour de l'équipe de France. Donc non, honnêtement, on est super content de ça. On sait qu'on est soutenu et accompagné, donc ça nous fait énormément plaisir et ça nous aide aussi à notre performance, à forcément pas décevoir nos familles et le public français. Donc non, on voit que l'événement arrive très vite. C'est déjà demain, donc non, il faut, comme je l'ai dit, profiter de chaque moment, se servir de tout ça pour faire une belle performance demain.
Bonjour Romain Malric pour le Disport. Question pour Mathieu Jalibert. Selon toi Mathieu, est-ce qu'une des clés du match ça peut être aussi l'utilisation du jeu au pied? L'équipe qui gagnera demain sera celle qui utilisera le mieux ce domaine-là?
Alors, en tout cas, c'est une arme qui est fatale au niveau international et qu'on utilise beaucoup nous avec ce groupe depuis maintenant pas mal de matchs. Donc voilà, on sait que plus on met de pression sur l'adversaire, plus on les oblige à jouer chez eux, à gérer des situations un peu critiques, un peu sous pression. Ils ont tendance à nous donner des situations et nous donner des éléments pour pouvoir les contrer. Donc oui, bien sûr que demain ça va être un match qui va être aussi très stratégique, parce qu'on sait que les All Blacks, il faut pas leur donner de ballons faciles, car ils sont très forts sur les contre-attaques et ont beaucoup d'individualités capables de faire la différence. Donc bien sûr que le jeu au pied sera une arme décisive dans ce match.
James Cole, Sky Sports. Raphaël, en anglais... Oh, sorry.
Just gone. Where are you?
Up here.
Ah, okay.
Hi.
All right.
In English, en anglais, s'il vous plaît, if you don't mind. I just wonder your emotions as you finally begin this tournament in front of your home crowds. How are you feeling, and to what extent can the home fans help you guys both tomorrow night and as the tournament progresses?
Okay, so I do my best.
Thank you.
With my poor French accent. Basically, it's obvious. Tomorrow will be a big day for all of us. It's been 4 years now. We expect home crowd supporting us. We can be proud of what we achieved so far, but we know it's a big stage. It's a big step for us against a fabulous New Zealand team.
Raphael, Gavin Merritt from the Telegraph. Apologies, English as well, please. I'm sure you don't like singling players out, individuals, but Antoine Dupont sort of rightly seen as the poster boy going into this tournament, and I'm just interested to know how he is coping with, that sort of external pressure, and secondly, how much of an impact do you think he can have to take the sport to new audiences at a time when rugby really needs some good news?
What's very impressive with Antoine is the way he obviously delivers on the pitch, but also the sense of maturity he's got every day. He likes being surrounded by his teammates, most of all. And of course, tomorrow will be a special day for him, 50th cap for France. What a great achievement! But for him, it's just something he wants to achieve with the team. He's a really team player, and that's why he's so highly respected by his teammates.
Messieurs, bonjour. Une question, Nicolas Dandry, Actu Rugby. Une question pour Mathieu. Hier, Boden Barrett, meilleur joueur du monde 2016-2017, a déclaré que vous étiez un joueur de classe mondiale. Déjà, votre réaction, et au-delà de cette question, au-delà de votre réaction, votre analyse sur le fait que les All Blacks utilisent un peu la même stratégie que vous, avec un ouvreur et un arrière qui peut jouer à l'ouverture, voire même peut-être Jordi Barrett qui peut assurer aussi l'engagement du jeu au niveau des trois quarts. Quel est le niveau de dangerosité et votre analyse par rapport à cette stratégie? Merci.
Tout d'abord, c'est toujours plaisant de recevoir des compliments de la part d'un joueur de ce statut. Voilà, d'autant plus que c'est un joueur que j'admire beaucoup et que j'apprécie. Donc voilà, toujours un plaisir. Et après, oui, il joue, on va dire un peu comme nous, avec 10-15, cette association qui permet d'avoir sur le terrain deux meneurs de jeu. Et voilà, en quoi c'est dangereux, tout simplement le fait que ce soit Richie Monga ou Boden Barrett, c'est des joueurs qui sont très talentueux, capables de faire la différence, que ça soit à la main ou au pied, avec une vision du jeu assez exceptionnelle. Donc voilà, ils sont capables de prendre le jeu à leur compte à tout moment. Et parfois c'est Boden qui est en 10, parfois Richie et inversement. Donc voilà, à nous de rester concentrés, mais globalement on a un plan défensif et il faudra surtout rester structuré par rapport à ça pour pouvoir essayer de les contrer et leur donner le moins de temps possible pour créer.
Bonjour à tous les trois, Pierre Aubin pour Canal+, tout en haut, ici, au niveau des caméras. Question pour vous, Mathieu. Est-ce que vous pouvez nous parler de votre entente avec Antoine et à quel point il emmène ce groupe un petit peu, à quel point il le lead en tant que capitaine? Merci.
L'entente avec Antoine est top, on s'entend super bien. Voilà, ça fait maintenant ça fait maintenant quelques années qu'on s'entraîne et qu'on joue ensemble. Donc voilà, on a quand même pas mal de repères et d'automatismes. Et personnellement, je prends énormément de plaisir à jouer avec lui parce que c'est un joueur de classe mondiale qu'on n'a pas besoin de présenter, voilà, qui crée beaucoup de dangers autour de lui. Et par rapport à l'équipe, on sent vraiment quand il est là et pas là sur le terrain. Voilà, c'est quelqu'un de très précieux pour nous, que ce soit sur les tâches défensives, mais aussi en attaque. Et voilà, il a une aura et un poids sur cette équipe qui met vraiment tout le monde en confiance quand il est là. Donc voilà, par rapport à notre relation, elle est très bien. On s'entend bien. Et voilà, surtout ce qu'on a hâte, c'est de pouvoir commencer la compétition tous ensemble.
On va prendre une dernière question. Au premier rang.
Bonjour. C'est pour vous, Mathieu Jalibert. Est-ce que vous avez commencé le match et est-ce que vous allez changer de manière de jouer ou est-ce que vous allez jouer plus contrôlé ou est-ce que ça va changer pour le jouer un peu pour le match?
Non, je pense que je vais rester fidèle à moi-même, mais globalement, quand je rentre sur le terrain, c'est pour que l'équipe joue le mieux possible collectivement. Voilà, ça dépendra aussi du scénario du match. Par rapport contre l'Australie, une première mi-temps un peu plus tendue où il y avait moins d'espace. Donc là, on est resté dans un jeu de gestion, un peu d'occupation, essayer de bien gérer, faire souffler nos gros. Et puis en deuxième mi-temps, quand les espaces sont arrivés, ça a été plus facile pour nous de mettre notre jeu en place. Donc voilà, c'est difficile de répondre à ces questions. Ça sera surtout en fonction de ce que vont nous proposer les Blacks en face. Mais en tout cas, moi, je change pas ma façon d'être et ma façon de jouer. Voilà, je saisirai les opportunités qui se présenteront à moi. Mais en tout cas, pour moi, le plus important, c'est de bien faire jouer l'équipe et de respecter la stratégie qu'on a mis en place toute la semaine.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup, messieurs. C'est la fin de cette conférence de presse.
Merci, au revoir.
See what all the sunglasses? Yeah, should have worn it. Should have worn it.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our second media conference of the day. It's our great pleasure to welcome New Zealand for their eve of match briefing before their opening match against France tomorrow evening here at Stade de France. I'm delighted to have here on the top table New Zealand head coach Ian Foster, Dalton Papali'i, and Mark Telea. Please raise your hand and wait for the microphone to start your question and state your organization name before asking your question. So first question, please.
Hi, Ian. It's Ollie here. Hey.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, I got you now.
Looking very good.
Thanks, mate. Fabian looks good in his glasses too, you see. So.
You've thrown me off now. Ian, what is different about the challenge of France at Stade de France when you think of the challenges of international rugby? What is different about this challenge?
Passionate country, very much a rugby country. I think it's one of the best stadiums in the world, and their ability to create an occasion is pretty special. So turn up tomorrow night and I think you'll feel that.
G'day, Ian. Finn Morton from Rugby Pass. One decision selection we didn't speak about yesterday was Finlay Christie on the bench ahead of Cam Roigard. Can you explain that decision, what you expect from Finlay tomorrow?
Just based on the work they've done. We're very confident in all three of our nines. Finn's got probably a little bit more experience at this level than what Cam has, but Cam's doing everything right. So. But, you know, I think Finn's probably a strong defensive player, and maybe there's a little bit of an edge in that space in terms of experience there. But pretty happy with our nines at the moment.
We're going to ask the photographers to please stop the picture, please. Next question.
Dalton, I'm just wondering what will be going through your mind when you head out onto the field tomorrow?
I think there'll be quite a bit of emotion, but you know, the good thing in this environment is that we actually do have a lot of young players who have experience. And you know, talking on my own, I know I have a process where I always fall back on when, you know, big games like this. There are always going to be a lot of emotions going out there, but I know once it's time, when the warm-up starts to happen and all that, I know I've got a job in front of me, and I put those emotions aside, and I think of being in the moment and just doing what's in front of me. So I'm looking forward to the challenge, and this is why we play rugby, for occasions like this. So yeah.
Dalton, Kim Downs, right at the back here. Speaking of emotions, you were positively buzzing at the welcome ceremony, at being here. I just wonder, what have the emotions been like since you found out you've been named to start for this game?
To be honest, you always dream of this moment, but it sometimes never comes true. But in my case, it has. And when I first got told, you know, I was pretty over the moon. Some feelings you can't really put into words, but I was just more proud to represent you know, this team and also my family. Getting to put my last name on the world stage and also do it with this team, you know, that I call my family as well. You know, I'm shaking even talking about it now. It just means so much to me, and to be going out there and doing it for, you know, myself, my family, and the boys I go to work with. Or you'd call it work, but you know, with the ups and downs it's truly special, and you know, I'm going to really soak it up. But at the end of the day, when we go out there, you know, I've got a job to do, and that's to perform and to perform as a team. So yeah, just excitement levels are going crazy. So yeah.
And Mark,
I think the reason he was buzzing at Lyon, Kimberley, is that they were handing out baskets of food, and the French bread and the French cheese is very hard to resist.
They do hit different here.
Yeah, I've noticed your eating habits. Yeah.
clearly haven't held it against him, Ian.
No,
I noticed none of
no.
that was shared with the media. Mark, just before I hand it on as well, New Zealand has a very long, proud history of wingers having star performances at World Cups. Can you lean into that to inspire you for this one?
Yeah, I guess New Zealand does have a rich history of great outside backs, and I'm just trying to pave my own way and try and add to my own legacy, mostly of the players I have around me. I know we have great players, great leaders, great coaching staff, and you know, the amount of effort that we put in, even as an outside unit, you know, it's crazy, and we just want to go out there and perform the best we can and display the type of rugby that we play back in NZ. So.
Mark, you're obviously relatively, new to this All Black team still. Could you just talk about, I suppose, your own emotions being here, your first World Cup, when you you come to a stadium like Stade de France for the first time? What is that moment like for you? And yeah, could you just talk to, I suppose, your emotions of being here for the first time?
I guess Dalton kind of touched on it there. Like, can't really put it into words. It kind of takes me back to when I first got my first debut in Scotland, when I went in met Fozzie and he was just telling me like, we're gonna give you a crack this week and just take the opportunity. And that's kind of like this moment right now. You know, you prep the same way, you prep every time, get your mind ready, your body ready, and when the team gets named, you do whatever you can for the team, and you put your team first. And I guess that's kind of the mindset, and the emotion for me has just been overwhelming. I've been, fortunate to be selected and having the opportunity, and I just want to do the best I can, mostly because the outsides we have, anyone can step up and do what I'm doing right now. And I'm just grateful that the coaches see something in me, and I'm just going to do the best I can. So.
Hello Yann, Romain Baheux for Le Parisien aujourd'hui en France. Do you expect French team will do something during the ACA tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I guess that's their choice. Historically, they have sometimes and not other times, and we're at peace with that. We're happy for the opposition to respond however they want to respond to the haka, and that's also to the crowd. But for us, it's a special part of our legacy of who we are as a team, and how we connect to each other and to the past. So we know, but one thing I do know is that they'll respect it. Because they've got a history of respecting the haka. The fact they may respond in different ways is not seen by us as a lack of respect.
Ian, hello at the back. Just in terms of your World Cup campaign, how much importance are you placing on this opening game? We saw 4 years ago South Africa lost the opening game and won the tournament. That was the first time in history that happened. So just how do you expect this opening game to shape your tournament?
Yeah, I was often asked after 2019 what we'd do differently, and I said, I'll just throw the first game. It doesn't sound that good though, does it? So, but we beat South Africa, and the way things happened, they ended up with a slightly different path into the final than what we ended up with. So you never know in tournaments, and you never know the path it's going to take. And so for us, we've got one clear goal, which is like everyone, but our clear goal is simple, is that we want to make sure that we qualify and get into a quarter-final situation, because then it's a one-off game. And, everyone's talking about this game. We've also got Namibia and Uruguay, and we've got a very, very strong and enthusiastic Italian team coming. So there's plenty ahead, but this game's special in its own right, I reckon. I think out of my third World Cup, I've never seen a build-up for a game like this one. I've never seen people put so much on it. I think the fact that it's a home nation who have got strong expectations of winning it, their public have got strong expectations of winning it, and it's against a team that I sense that the public's got a lot of respect for. So it's well scripted, but at the end of the day, it's a game we want to go and commit everything to, and afterwards it doesn't really change. Whether we win or whether we lose, we've still got to qualify out of this group.
Hello, Mr. It's Nicolas Dupin-Bessa from Canal+. Question for Marc. You will face Damien Penaud, who is one of the best French players at the moment. How hard it is to prepare to face a player who is so unpredictable?
I guess it's exciting, yeah. I guess that's what you play rugby for. You play to play the best, and like I said, I'm lucky. I prepped well. I do everything I can to get physically ready for it, and I know he'll be doing the same as well. It's exciting, and I know just got to get ready for the show coming tomorrow night. So yeah.
Ian, James Cole, Sky Sports at the back here. To what extent did that defeat to South Africa hurt the group, and is there a point to prove or wrong to right in this game in particular?
Well, I don't think there's a point to prove in relation to that game. It was a game, you know, like the answer to the first question is we're always disappointed. We don't like losing, and and it was particularly the injuries and the cards that caused it to be a very disruptive performance. So how much we take out of that is critical. It hasn't altered our trajectory, we don't believe. I think it was a game stuck in the middle of a break for us. We think we needed it. I've got no regrets about it. But really it doesn't matter. You know, the only thing that matters is what we learned out of it and applied, and now we're into a tournament. So, but yeah, the second part, do we have a point to prove? Yeah, we always do. You know, I don't think you can ever hide from that. And you know, we're going to be on a very big stage tomorrow night, and we're a very proud team, and we want to play well, and we're determined to. So, and then we'll really assess after that to see where we're at and how we progress in this tournament.
Hi, Charles from the Daily Telegraph here.
Charles.
Hi. You've spoken about the spectacle and how fabulous the Stade de France is and sort of World Cup fever in Paris and all the eyeballs tomorrow night. I just wondered, given all that, the pressure actually might be much more on the French side, and although they're going to get behind their team a lot, you know, it could be like a bubble that blows up and bursts. And I was just wondering if that actually might suit you in a way, with all the eyeballs on them and all the pressure on them. For once, it's not like that usually for an All Blacks team.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt there's a lot of pressure on them, being the host. How they respond to that, I'm not sure. But the only thing we can control is, you know, we've got to make sure that we pressure them and play our game and not get caught up in the emotion of the crowd and expectations. Like, it's no stranger to us, expectation. And you know, if we win well, then there's always that massive expectation to go and do it again and perform again. And if you lose badly, then you've got to deal with all that sort of expectation. So I think it's one area where we as a team have prepared well, how we deal with pressure, I think. But this particular group, we've got to grow under a World Cup pressure, and it is different. And so how we go about that, we'll wait and see. I think we've prepared really well. I've been proud of the way the guys have gone about their work, and not just the last couple of weeks, but since we assembled and we had some clear goals. I think we've been able to tick most of those off, and now we're ready to go. And we want to walk out on that park with shiny eyes, nice and light, and we just want to play. And we're ready to play. We've been waiting for it. And then once the ref blows his whistle, let's see what happens after that.
We have time for 2 more questions, so we'll go here in front and then in the back.
Ian, over here. Other way. Only one All Blacks team has ever won a World Cup.
Only one what, sorry?
One All Blacks team has ever won a World Cup outside of New Zealand. Is that something that's been spoken about as a group and something that's potentially spurring you on ahead of the tournament?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I think I said it in the media recently. You know, like we've won 3 World Cups. We're the most successful alongside South Africa, and yet when you look at how hard it is to win World Cups, well, we've won 1 out of 7, and away from home. So it shows you the size of the task, and so, you know, the All Blacks have learned over history. You just don't turn up at a World Cup and get what you want just by being here. You've got to do something special, and you've got to play well. And there's been a lot of good All Black teams that haven't been able to achieve that. And so we kind of represent them in many ways because we've learnt some lessons out of that. 2015 was a special tournament for that regard, and yet we felt some pain in Japan. So it's not easy winning these tournaments, and this one particularly, I think the You know, we're in a strong rugby country with some strong nations at the moment. It's going to be a pretty special tournament. And there's no doubt that each of us as a group, we have to be at the peak of our game.
Last question.
Fozzie Shanaka from the Papare in Sri Lanka. And just asking about this particular tournament, there's so much competition going into it, and especially on this first game as well. There was always an aspiration for the All Blacks to win every game that they played and to win handsomely. But as a coaching unit, are you a bit more pragmatic as to how you approach this tournament, knowing that perhaps it's going to be a long one after the knockouts?
No, not at all. You know, like, I don't think there'll be a coach in the world that doesn't want to go out and is going to target winning all the games. So, and we're no different. So, we like to keep things pretty simple. Like I said at the start, you know, the goal and the thing about World Cups is everyone has a goal. You just got to get out of your pool into that quarter final. That's when you give yourself a chance. So, best way to do that is just to prepare well and play the game in front of you to the best of your ability. And that's about as simple as we want to be.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. C'est la fin de cette conférence.
Thank you all.
Cheers, thank you. Thank you.
La prochaine activité média sera le team announcement de l'Australie à 15h. The next media activity will be Australia team announcement at 3 p.m.